Subcommittee. Ms. Beatty is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member, and to you, Secretary Bessent. The Trump administration has alleged that detecting and deterring transnational criminal organizations such as Iranian terrorist groups and their proxies is a priority for national security. But on March 2nd of 2025, your department announced that it would not enforce any penalties or fines associated with the BOI reporting rule, nor will it enforce the CTA against U.S. citizens, domestic reporting companies, or their beneficial owners. So I'm a little confused of how you square those two things. So my question is, can you explain to, or would you explain to the American public how you undermine the bipartisan CTA and expect law enforcement and national security agencies to quickly and effectively know the true owners behind shell companies registered in the United States now that foreigners, including a drug cartel, gang members, could register a company in the United States with no state or any federal ownership reporting requirements? And I remind you, in your testimony, you talked about illicit actors. Well, these are some of our illicit actors.
Hey there, Patriots. Welcome back to the channel where we stand for truth, liberty, and the Constitution of the United States of America. If you're tired of DC theatrics and left-wing grandstanding, then you've come to the right place. Now, let's dive into this latest spectacle from Capitol Hill that's making the rounds, courtesy of Forbes Breaking News. The title says it all. All hell breaks loose after Joyce Beatty lambasted hostile witness Scott Bessent. And boy, did it break loose. Let me break this down for you and give you the real talk from a constitutional conservative perspective. So, what are we actually watching here? Democrat Representative Joyce Beatty takes the mic in a subcommittee hearing and goes off the rails on Treasury official Scott Bessent. She grills him on the enforcement of the Corporate Transparency Act and BOI, reporting, basically claiming that not forcing domestic small businesses to file these reports makes it easier for criminals like drug traffickers and terrorists to operate. Here's the thing, folks. What the Biden administration, yes, this administration, not Trump's, has tried to walk back is an overreach of federal bureaucracy into the everyday lives of law-abiding American citizens. The CTA and BOI reporting rules, if enforced broadly, would have crushed small business owners, your neighbors and mine, with more red tape, more paperwork, and more government snooping.
Congresswoman, an overwhelming majority of the domestic entities that you're describing are hardworking Americans with small businesses. We bifurcated the bill, and any foreign entities must still file.
So are you saying to me it's not true that they must file and the foreign entities must file the BOI?
Yes, we bifurcated the CTA program that domestics do not have to.
So maybe I'm asking it the wrong way. So it appears that they are doing it registering to avoid the transparency of who the companies are.
I'm not sure what your question is. I'd be happy to answer it.
So I guess I'm looking at it as, and if you're saying it is not true and that they now are complying and completing the BOI, so let's take it one step at a time. So you're saying everybody is completing the BOI. You're enforcing it.
No, ma'am. I am saying that we have bifurcated it, that U.S. nationals do not have to file, and that foreign nationals do.
Okay, so I guess when we look at this, if we're limiting enforcements of the rule just to the foreign entities, that creates a giant loophole whereby any foreign entity can register in the United States and evade or not do the BOI reporting requirements.
Well, they would be subject to they would have to come through a U.S. financial institution, so they would be subject to all U.S. institutions.
Including the BOI. Including the BOI. Including the BOI, yes or no? Because the answer is no. I mean, you can say it however you want to, but the answer is no. And this makes it easier, and this is what I want the American folks to know. It makes it easier for human and drug traffickers, cartels, terrorists, organizations, and other criminals to do business in the United States. And when you're limiting the enforcement just to foreign entities, it exempts 99% of the entities that Congress intended the law to cover when it was passed into law. So I think I do have my answer. We're just not agreeing on it, and we know why. So let me go to my second. It's my time. Let me go to my second question. The clock is running. It's my time. It is my time. You will not do this on my time. Now, I'm going to ask for a few more seconds since he refused to comply with my time, not his time. In 2016, former Secretary Jack Lew announced that Harriet Tubman was to be the new face of the $20 bill. Can you tell me what's the current status of this project?
No, ma'am, I can't, but my staff will get back to you.
No, I want you to get back to me. Because, see, there seems to be an issue when it comes to things that affect people of color or people who live in poverty, whether it is what you're doing with Social Security, what you are doing with restricting funds to programs.
The gentlewoman's
So
time is
I
expired.
want you,
The gentlewoman's time is expired.
respond to me?
The gentleman from
Mr. Chairman,
Texas,
I need
the
him to
gentlewoman's
answer
time-
if he will, I'm not
The
a staff
gentlewoman can
person.
submit
I'm not
questions for
asking
the
him
record.
to have his staff report to
The
me.
gentlewoman
So,
can
Mr.
submit-
Chairman, I'm addressing it to you to ask
gentlewoman's
him
time
to
is
respect
expired.
me. Mr. Chairman,
The gentlewoman's
I'm talking
time
to
has
you.
expired.
I need him to address if he
gentlewoman's
will
time
answer
has
me.
expired.
No, I'm not going to.
The gentlewoman's
yield.
time
I'm
has
not
expired.
going to stop until you direct
gentlewoman's
him
time
to
has
answer
expired.
to me as a member of Congress.
The gentlewoman's
Mr.
time
Chairman,
has
point
expired.
of
The
order
gentlewoman
to
has
you.
offered that she can submit
Mr.
questions
Chairman,
for the
point
record.
of order to you. I will not stop. I will not be silent.
The gentlewoman is
until
not
you
offering
direct
an
him
appropriate
to answer.
parliamentary inquiry. Does
Will
the gentlewoman
you-
have a parliamentary
Yes,
inquiry?
I do.
Please state the parliamentary inquiry.
As a member of the United States Congress addressing the Secretary, I am asking you to rule on asking this hostile witness to direct his response to me versus having him tell me that his staff will respond to me. My staff person didn't ask him the question. I did.
The gentlewoman does not state a parliamentary inquiry.
So let me ask the
gentlewoman's
point of
time-
privilege to you, Mr. Chairman, because I'm not going to stop this morning until you respond to me then, if you will direct the Secretary to respond to me as a member of Congress. Or let me ask him.
It is not a
Then
point of
let me
privilege. The
ask
gentlewoman's
him
time
if
has
he will
expired.
respond to
The
me.
gentlewoman will
he
suspend.
respond to me?
The
Will
gentlewoman
he
will-
respond
The
to
gentlewoman
me
will
that
suspend.
he-
The gentlewoman
It can
will
be simple
suspend.
if he
Mr.
responds.
The
Chairman.
gentlewoman will
If
suspend.
he responds
The gentlewoman
to me,
will
if
suspend.
he will
The
respond to me,
gentlewoman makes a legitimate request, a personal
you
privilege.
can simply ask him to
Grant
respond.
personal privilege.
Just
Personal
ask him to
privilege.
respond if he'll respond to a member of Congress versus saying a staffer. It's simple as that.
I ask that members keep decorum and remain cordial during today's
I
hearing.
am being
Members,
cordial to
the
you,
gentlewoman will
Mr.
suspend.
Chairman.
The chair has the time.
Mr. Chairman,
The
will you
chair has the
answer the
time. The
question?
gentlewoman will suspend.
gentlewoman
The
makes a
gentlewoman will
legitimate
suspend.
request.
I ask that members keep decorum and remain cordial during today's
being
hearing.
cordial. I resent your statement to imply that I am not. I am a member of the U.S. Congress. I am asking this
The
secretary
gentlewoman
to
may
respond
submit
to me.
QFRs for the record, which will be responded to by the secretary.
Thank
The
you.
gentlewoman's time has expired.
Let's get something straight. Joyce Beatty is pushing for a surveillance state in the name of transparency. What she's really upset about is that the Treasury decided to spare American citizens from another overbearing government requirement. And when Scott Bessent calmly explained that foreign entities still have to comply, which is the whole point of targeting transnational crime, she just refused to hear it. What we saw here was a performance pure political theater. Beatty didn't come to ask questions. She came to grandstand to lecture and to accuse. She threw out phrases like cartels and terrorists to scare people into thinking that this is about national security. Let me tell you something, friends. National security isn't strengthened by regulating U.S. plumbers and farmers and shop owners. It's strengthened by empowering law enforcement, securing our borders, and cracking down on foreign threats, which is exactly what the bifurcated rule still allows. So why is Beatty mad? Because she wants full government control, plain and simple. She doesn't trust the American people to manage their own affairs without oversight from the alphabet soup agencies in D.C. Now, here's where it gets even more ridiculous. Midway through the exchange, Beatty suddenly swerves into a totally unrelated topic, the redesign of the $20 bill to feature Harriet Tubman. Look, I don't have an issue with honoring Harriet Tubman. She was a hero, a real one. But let's be honest, this question had nothing to do with BOI reporting or the Treasury's enforcement policies. It was another distraction. And then she gets angry that Bessent says his staff will follow up. Folks, that's standard operating procedure in these hearings. Staff follow-up happens every day. But no, Beatty had to make it about her. She demanded a direct answer like it was some personal insult that he didn't memorize the status of a bill redesign. She turned a policy hearing into a personal soapbox, yelling over the chairman, refusing to yield her time, and trying to redefine parliamentary rules on the spot. Let's talk about that word she used. Hostile witness. That's rich. Bessent sat there, respectfully trying to answer. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't insult her. He didn't dodge. He explained the policy decision clearly. But because he didn't say what Beatty wanted to hear, suddenly he's hostile? No, what we really saw was hostility from the dais from Beatty herself. She didn't want answers. She wanted a fight. And when the chairman tried to maintain decorum, she accused him of silencing her, of dismissing her authority, of being unfair. But we all saw the same thing. She wasn't playing by the rules. She wanted special treatment. She wanted the power to dictate the rules and the answers. Let me end with this. This is what's wrong with Washington, D.C. It's not just the bad policies. It's the attitude. It's the arrogance. It's the idea that government knows better than you, that bureaucrats need more power, and that if you question their authority, you must be a threat. Scott Bessent was calm, factual, and professional. Joyce Beatty was the one who was out of line, disrespectful, and frankly undemocratic in her conduct. We the people deserve better. We deserve elected officials who understand that liberty isn't the enemy of security, and that small businesses aren't criminals. We don't need more federal surveillance. We need accountability, constitutionality, and common sense. So my fellow patriots, stay alert, stay informed, and don't buy the spin. If you like this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more no-nonsense political analysis, and drop a comment below. Do you think Bessent was being hostile, or was he just doing his job? Until next time, stay free, stay strong, and God bless America.